Yeah, so first and foremost, it was our own lived experience. As you mentioned, as Toronto, we do get winters. It is a winter city. And, amongst our team, we'd always talk about how much winter impacts our access to those three rights. Our own connections to civic engagement, to mobility, to public space fray considerably in Toronto during the winter. And, we could see that from our office windows. Winter in North America has really big impacts on many different communities, and most of them, unfortunately, tend to be negative impacts. For example, if you have a mobility device, if you need a cane, if you have any kind of physical ailment, you're in a lot of trouble in winter, right? There was actually a recent news report from Winnipeg where they talked to a woman who uses a wheelchair, and she described how snowstorms isolate people with disabilities. She explained how poor snow clearance makes it virtually impossible for her to go about her daily life and access essentials like going to the grocery store or to the doctor's office. We know also that the data tells us that it's, women in racialized and lower income communities are far more likely to rely on walking and taking public transit to get around. Yet most cities don't plow sidewalks or around transit stations and bus stops. And the few cities that do tend to treat them as afterthoughts. They tend to prioritize major arterial roads and highways. And the effects of those policies is that we make winter much more livable for select people who drive cars, who tend to be men, white, and more affluent, while making winter a lot less comfortable for women in racialized and lower income communities. And not coincidentally, it's women in racialized and lower income communities who are 4 times more likely to suffer from depression and anxiety in winter. We also know that children, in the United States who see levels of physical activity and recreation, which are already quite low, they tend to fall even lower in winter, which, further contributes to this really big public health and mental health crises that we're seeing in North America. And so, for those reasons, that's why we really zeroed in on a lack of winter planning as a big issue in creating more age-friendly cities. And the most frustrating thing is that winter doesn't actually need to be like this. We have really built our cities to avoid winter rather than adapting and embracing it. So the way that we design and maintain and program our cities is the biggest contributor to this growing sense of social isolation. Winter can be a wonderful time of the year that supports social interaction and physical activity. Our cities just haven't been designed and programmed to take advantage of it.